All right, shall I start letting people in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, friends. So good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Love it. Hi, Ariella. So many people that I love seeing. It's so cool. Love it. Good evening, folks. Hi, Ariella. So good to see you. Hi, Pamela. What's up, Ellison? Aloha.
What up, El?
What is up, Christine? Good to see you. Hi, Jeremy. Oh, hi, Elba. So good to see you. Hi, Jill. How are you? Scott, how's it going? Love it. Hey, Luke. I love it. Patrick, thank you. We're so excited. We are just really excited. Hi, Ty. Hi, Kristen. What's up, Calvert? Good to see you.
What's up? What's up?
How's it going?
Well, I can't complain. I just got through teaching Taekwondo class, so you have to forgive me. I'm running a little bit late.
I love it. I didn't know that you taught Taekwondo. That's awesome. Such a great skill.
See, I guess what do we have any announcements we can do in the meantime? For example, the fourth recording of sub two semesters, the final recording's up and out as of
Yeah, if you're in
yesterday.
sub two, yeah. Good call. If you're in sub two and you've been tracking the sub two semesters, week four is finally out, which is great. Hi, Colleen. Aloha, my friend. So good to see you on here. All right. Well, we'll
There's
give it
Keola.
a
He said,
minute.
"Here to feel the frenzy."
Hi, Tracy.
How are you, Colleen?
I'm great. How are you? I'm glad you're doing a number two.
Yeah, me too. We're so excited. It worked out perfect.
Good, good,
So good
good.
to
So
see you.
happy for you.
Thank you. I adore you. So cool. Yeah, I think we can give it maybe just another minute and we'll get going.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hi, Carrie. Kristen, I know going from all these things, you guys will laugh. I'll fess up. I couldn't find the link to get in. Took me a minute. I was like, guys, are you all in the waiting room? Happens. It happens. What's up, Ty from San Diego? I was just in Santa Barbara over the weekend. My daughter's got accepted to college there. I love it down south. All right. I know we've got about 62 in here. We have about 100 and thank you, Ari. 150 so folks. I guess we could maybe give it another few seconds, but I really do like to honor everybody's time. Yeah, Ari, boy, it has been a long 4 years of high school to make it into UC Santa Barbara. But she did it, so it's really exciting. All right, team, what do you say? Should we get rocking and rolling?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I love it. Um, do you want to do you want to share your screen with everybody, Dustin?
Yeah. Let me pull it up right now.
Cool. We're going to follow along on our fractional page where you can see it says co-living deal number two, Malton. We figure this is probably just the easiest way you can if you go back to look over the notes or to review your notes, you can hopefully just follow along from there. All right, so we've got a few photos. Again, this is a fully operational PadSplit. So I'll give everybody just a quick overview of our project. Then we'll go ahead and we'll introduce all ourselves. I'll talk a little bit about why co-living and what co-living is. I know we have a lot of new folks on here that may or may not even be aware of the intricacies of co-living and what co-living is about. So we'll give a quick overview and then we'll dive into the project. So, guys, again, we are just beyond grateful that we have the opportunity to bring a second project so quickly behind our first project. It really is just a dream for us to be able to not just provide an opportunity for really strong returns, but also to partner with people in true partnerships and support people in their growth. So we thank you for your time. As you know, the project is led by myself, Tracy Koa, Dustin, Kaipo, and Audrey. This particular investment is another opportunity for an equity partnership. We're raising $250,000 to fund a fully operational 8-bed, 3-bath. It's in Stone Mountain, Georgia. On the second one, we're still honoring a $5,000 minimum investment. Again, we really wanted to make this investment something that a lot of people can access, right? We understand that sometimes there's barriers to entry when it comes to cost. So we're trying to keep that low. Our goal here, obviously, is you get equity stake, you earn cash flow, appreciation, and then some tax advantages. Again, as a partner with us, we have really put together a lot of thought into ways that we can provide exclusive access to underwriting sessions, lots of hands-on experience alongside of us. And again, just really impactful and profitable way to help diversify your own portfolio and also, just support affordable housing. So with that being said, I'll hop in to meet the team. I think a lot of you already know me. I'm Tracy Koa. I have an expertise in co-living and business operations. I have been in real estate investing full-time for about 2 years now. Before that, I have a career in education. I bring a lot of expertise when it comes to not just co-living strategies, but market analysis as well as business operations. And so that is, what I bring to the team. Have a passion for affordable housing. Some of you know my story. When I was younger, I faced homelessness and lived on the streets as a young adult. And the feeling of not knowing where you'll sleep at night is something that I pray no one ever has to experience. It's pretty traumatic. And I just feel strongly that we as a real estate community need to provide opportunities for people around affordable housing. And I feel like co-living is just such a great way. If there was co-living opportunities when I was younger in that situation, I think I would have been interesting to see where things went. But I do love my life now, so not complaining, just saying. Dustin, you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. As Tracy mentioned a bit ago, um, essentially this is an unofficial continuation of the sub 2 semesters. And when I say unofficial, like it's not stored in Kajabi or organized by them or anything. But this is like the sixth class essentially of showing everyone that watched the first 4, and then we had one on with Fractional last week of how to raise capital. So it's like not only are we showing you a deal we would love for you to invest in, but it's also like you get to see what we're doing and essentially like mirror it. And when we were teaching, we were asking a lot of questions. And one of the biggest barriers we noticed though is the capital. Is like I knew some of the best wholesalers had the best deals, but since they were so focused on that, they couldn't simultaneously raise 150 grand. That's a lot. So that's ultimately what we're doing here is we're really lowering the ceiling, the barrier of entry, for someone to get this first, second, third deal, a co-living deal. But anyway, my background is supply chain management for undergrad, and then I have a master's in finance and I'm a Florida agent. But the way I got into co-living was it probably drove my dad crazy. But when I was 20, I went traveling everywhere, and basically co-living is what allowed me to do it. So like Japan, Mediterranean, Hawaii, it was all co-living. I couldn't have done it otherwise. But also, when I was in grad school, though, I started studying like these big names like Ray Dalio. Like these Ray Dalio, for example, is the people that are the guy that everyone goes to figure out what's going on. Like this is who Warren Buffett talks to. And essentially, in short, what he was teaching is co-living is only going to grow and blossom because of the cost of living and all that fun stuff. Because not only did I enjoy it for personal reasons, co-living, but financially, it makes a lot of sense. So, Kaipo.
What's up, guys? I'm Kaipo Cordera. So my background, I come from an entrepreneurial background across different industries. And on this team, I lead investment strategy and investor relations. So my focus is on capital raising, structuring investment opportunities and maintaining strong relationship with our investors. And what drew me to co-living and to this incredible team, was just the opportunity to be part of a solution to the affordable housing issue and to help make a positive impact for sure. And I believe, real estate has the power to drive both impact and strong returns. And co-living is one of the few models that can deliver on both fronts. Audrey.
Hey everyone, my name's Audrey. I'm super excited to be a part of this team. I've been in the field for over 10 years. In my current role, I help investors grow their portfolios by turning single family homes into high performing co-living properties. I work for a company called PadSplit. Some of you may have heard of it. I love PadSplit and I love co-living because historically investors have not been incentivized to house low income earners for obvious reasons, right? There's not a lot of money in it, a lot of headaches. And what PadSplit is doing is taking the heavy lift off of investors, allowing them to scale using the product and cash flow on their investments. So it's a really cool product and I'm excited to work with you guys.
Thanks for that. I want to just go back and say Kaipo is so he doesn't Kaipo it has such a massive amount of experience in owning and operating a small business. And as you guys know, one of the benefits if you invest with us at the higher level, we'll talk about that in a little bit, is we have created an exclusive mastermind for investors. And our goal with that is to teach people all aspects of a scalable co-living model, which includes how do your operations work, right? And so Kaipo brings this tremendous experience to the table with his background and his knowledge in business operations. So I just wanted to say that he's not going to say that. He's not going to toot his own horn, but I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kaipo, he's quiet and humble, but he's like, we're very lucky to be able to
Here
learn from him.
to have his
Because I mean,
experience.
he has a full-blown operation in Hawaii, lives in Arizona.
Yeah. So guys, our vision, when Dustin and I kind of first got this idea, we were working through putting together the sub-2 co-living semesters education, and we started, as Dustin said, kind of recognizing all these barriers that people had to entry in co-living. Our personal goal is to help create affordable housing for 1,000 people through the power of co-living. And if you do the math on that, on average, you have about 7 people per co-living home. So that's roughly 140 homes. And when I thought of that, I was like, this is crazy, right? I'm like, how am I going to do this? And so that's when Dustin and I really started talking about just creating something bigger than just us owning some homes, right? And as we started working through this in our mind and we started learning about all the barriers, we thought, okay, let's just go for this, right? And so we want to help empower 10,000 community members. And that's not just we use the word community members because that's what we call ourselves in sub 2, but we know there's a lot of people that are now joining that aren't part of Sub 2. Love it. Great. We're so glad to have you. So it's not just Sub 2 community, but it's 10,000 people purchase their first co-living property. And we found that this is the most effective way for us to partner with a number of people to really give them a lot of attention and support so that they can get to the same place we are where we have a scalable operation. So that's where this all came from. Of course, why co-living? Well, I think we all know that co-living is an opportunity to not just create a way for us to bring in a larger return on our investment, but at the same time, it's helping house multiple people. I was shocked when I learned that 38.1 million single people make up the households in the US. So 30% of all households in the US are single family households. It is extremely challenging. I'm a single person. It's extremely challenging to afford housing as a one income family. I experienced this when I was a single parent. Very, very challenging to find housing. So we just feel so confident that co-living, as Dustin talked about, so much research is out there. It's really the way to go. If you're
Yeah,
new,
and
no, go for it, please.
or no, I was just gonna say like I won't go on a big tangent, don't worry. But for those that are interested, you can like just look up the dollar hasn't been uh backed by gold since 1971. Every other major currency out there as well, like it has its own date. But in short, we all seen those old photos and pictures of the American dream, the white picket fence. One adult works, the other stays. Well, ever since we've left the gold standard, that's why there's this big disparity in the cost of living. And essentially, that's why co-living is only going to be growing more popular, and not just out of choice, but out of like necessity. Like the middle class is shrinking, and the cost of living is only just separating more and more.
I mean, we have, it's pretty amazing to see the gratitude. I was just texting with my friend Galen, who has properties, and she was just saying the other day, she goes, "Gosh, it's just amazing. We get our tenants, they actually thank us. They're so grateful for the opportunity." And it's a feel good thing. If you're new to co-living and you're on the Zoom and you're like, "Gosh, I heard about this," or I know Tracy and Dustin, but I don't really even know what co-living is, just really briefly. Essentially, we're taking a single family home. You could also do it with a multifamily home. You're taking a home and you're dividing the space so that you can create more private bedrooms. So you're creating a home where your tenants have their own private bedroom, but then they share common areas and common spaces. They share the kitchen. Sometimes you have a living room or a small sitting area. Sometimes we'll utilize the entire living room for a bedroom as well. Um, Sometimes they'll have a private bathroom and other times it's a shared bath. So as we kind of go through this property, you'll see what the layout of this is. So it's very flexible, but again, you're taking a lot of the extra space within a home. Maybe it's a den, a dining room, a living room, maybe a garage, and you're converting it into really nice living spaces for people. So you can accommodate in this one, for example, 8 bedrooms. So we're going to move into the property and dive into the project itself. So Dustin, were you going to go over the property?
Yeah, yeah. So this is an eight bed, eight rooms are filled, sorry. Um, Out of the eight, there's long-term tenants. I know Audrey told me either yesterday or the day before, I think the average tenure is what, like 200 days, Audrey, roughly.
Hmm.
Is something noteworthy. But here's some of the underwriting. And we have the T12, so we have the past 12 months of data. And then also it's in harmony with our projections. Anyone that wants to look more, you can click on the link there. But in short, I don't want to bore everyone with the deep dive. I can always explain more to people if necessary, but it is a $5,000 investment, like Tracy mentioned. Anyone that watched last time, we did note that we're giving a lot away in these first couple deals just to hit the ground running. So like 60% equity share, that's the fractional equity share. So, and then also 70% of the cash flow. So the whole unit, 70% is going to the fractional partners. I can say for sure that each deal, it's going to probably trim a little bit more and more. But the first people that are willing to join us on these, we wanted to reward them um, like attractively. And so here's some of the other estimates. Because the fractional partners, they're going to be on title. You're going to get not only cash flow, so like here it's the $5,000 investment, annual cash flow, 244. But you're also going to be able to benefit from other things like the debt pay down, the appreciation, some tax benefits. Everyone's bracket's going to be different. And so here's the 1 year ROI, 5 year projected, 10 year. And then just like the previous deal, once there is enough equity, the plan is refinancing and then paying the principal back. And then you'll maintain ownership. So you'll maintain that same degree of ownership that you start with and the cash flow. So it's a pretty attractive investment in our opinion, especially when we go to Audrey, who essentially is our subject matter expert on which ones to purchase. She really liked this because there's a lot of data already. Like it's been on the platform, I think, since 2021 or 2022.
Yep, October 2021.
Guys,
So,
really quick, I had a couple, one sec, a couple people asked
Mhm.
about sharing these slides. These aren't slides, we're on our fractional page. If you go to our community and then you click on projects, you'll see exactly what Dustin is reviewing right now. So you have access to that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Christine. I appreciate that.
yeah. And one of the, before I guess we move on to the next part, um, the people that do invest with us, we are, of course, diving into this, like, where did these numbers come from? How did we generate these projections? So that is one of the like non-monetary perks that investors will have with us is like some deep dive underwriting, like learning that skill set. Because again, our goal is to help people build the confidence early, a couple properties that they're partnered on like this. And then eventually you have the confidence to go do this on your own.
Yeah, that is the goal is again, it's one of the barriers that we noticed over the last year or so in talking more and more with people interested in co-living and lots of people like, oh, I want to get into co-living and I want to get into co-living. And 6 months later, they're still, I want to get into co-living. And a lot of the barriers come up with just how do I get involved? How do I get the funding? How do I even understand the metrics of what the investment looks like? And so when we're partnered together, our goal is that we will have one-on-one time with you. We'll have group meetings where we're going to just tear things apart, right? You can watch us as we grow and we look at other properties as we're underwriting them. You can hop on those calls with us and watch us just tear things apart and why we do and don't move on a property. We look at tons of opportunities every week and we pass on a lot because we have really high standards and we're fairly conservative.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think if Audrey, you're ready for the risk and comps.
Sure. So, like Dustin mentioned, this property's been on the platform for a long time. It's seasoned. It has mostly long-term tenants, which is a good sign. It's in Stone Mountain, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. We have a lot of properties out in this area, but I wouldn't say that we've even scratched the surface of the demand. In Atlanta alone, we had about 35,000 searches for rooms on our platform. Atlanta is also great because it's where we started. We have about 7,000 bedrooms there, and we have all of our vendors plugged in, property managers, GCs. So it's just a really easy place to start investing for PadSplit. This property specifically, if you'll scroll down a bit, I've outlined here the neighborhood. You can see we do have several properties in the area. And we have actually 309 bedrooms in this specific zip code. Scroll down a bit, sorry. And then here I've just outlined several properties within the area, within the neighborhood. You can see occupancy is really, really strong. There's high demand for rooms for rent in this area. This property is an 8-3, which I think has a lot to do with the occupancy. 8 people are sharing 3 bathrooms rather than 8 people sharing 2. We do have a 4-to-1 ratio for beds to baths, but that third bathroom always makes a huge difference. Then you can see it does about, or these are actually other comps in the neighborhood as well. Can you scroll up a bit? Sorry. Some other 8 bedrooms I wanted to show you guys. Also full occupancy. The year-to-date income is there. You can see last month's income as well. Pretty steady. It's just overall, I think, a really good entry property for you guys. So cool.
Right, and
Cool.
Kaipo.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go over how this opportunity works. So this is an opportunity, right? If you would like to partner with us on this JV co-living opportunity, please complete the deposit task in this project. You deposit 3% of your investment, right? So if you're investing, $5K, $10K, you'll be, depositing 3% of that initially. Once the project is fully funded, Fractional team will then create the LLC and customize the OA, which is the operating agreement. Collect the additional 97% of the investment, organize all of the parties to sign the necessary documents, and send the funds to title for closing, right? We will all join a call hosted by Fractional to review the responsibilities that come along with owning the property and make sure we have proper stakeholders for each responsibility. You can view the responsibility checklist in that link. So Fractional will handle all disbursement from the LLC to each investor, all of the compliance for taxes for the LLC, and issues each investor a K-1 for their taxes. Additional perks is exclusive deal flow and invite-only private co-living mastermind in Hawaii, the first mastermind that pays you. So this is the opportunity, right? This is an equity partner opportunity. So we're looking for partners. We're not looking for lenders, right? So we're looking for partners that we're going to come in and we're going to partner up and we're going to be on the LLC together. And you guys are going to be owners. The minimum investment is $5,000. Quarterly cash flow distributions. So like Dustin said, investors will receive 70% of the net cash flow, and we will receive 30%. Will be retained by the general partners. Equity ownership. So each $5,000 investment secures a proportional equity stake in the property. That means you'll not just be lending money, you own a piece of the deal and share in the upside, right? So profit participation. In addition to cash flow, investors benefit from property appreciation, significant tax advantages, including depreciation and pass-through losses. And that's the opportunity, but there are additional benefits. So, investors who invest $20,000 or more will receive an invitation to our private mastermind taking place in Hawaii, early fall 2025. We'll have, extra ongoing education and support, gain valuable insights, how to build, scale, and optimize your co-living investments. From underwriting to operations, our team will provide continuous education and mentorship along the way. I did want to add real quick that there were 10 investors from the first project that was not able to invest due to, the first investment got oversubscribed. So we had a different threshold on the last one. We didn't realize how much people were going to invest, $10,000 and above. So if you were any of the 10 people who were from their first investment, we're going to honor that threshold of $10,000 for you 10 people if you invest in this one. Roll your funds over into this one. Again, like Tracy said in closing, thanks for taking the time to explore this opportunity. Our mission is to partner with 1,000 impact-driven investors to build a profitable, diverse co-living portfolio. While creating real solutions for affordable housing, If this vision aligns with you, we'd be honored to have you on board. Let's grow our wealth together, create lasting impact, and have a little fun along the way. So yeah, join the investment now. Currently, we're raising $250,000 for this round with a minimum investment of $5,000. Investors contributing $20,000 or more will receive, like we said, just an exclusive invite to our private co-living mastermind in Hawaii happening this fall. And just a note, right, Hawaii Mastermind is a private invite only, but please note, you still have to cover your own accommodations and travel, right? So I'm going to pass this off to Kyle now. Kyle is the fractional guide here. Kyle, you want to take this over?
Yeah, I'm the fractional guy.
You're the
Go ahead.
fractional.
I said guide. You're the guide that's been leading us on this journey.
Go ahead, Tracy. What you got?
No, I was just going to say to folks, I'm seeing a lot of questions and I don't want people to think I'm not answering your questions. As soon as Kyle's done, we'll start to take questions. So feel free to put them in the chat and I'll just go back through and answer them for folks.
Thank you, team. If anybody has a trouble investing and like it's a fail, just message me. Right now I'm confirming someone's identity on the back end. But nice to meet you. My name is Kyle. I work here at Fractional. I also am in Sub 2, been there since 2021-ish. So we'll have to connect on Facebook or something like that. But yeah, I'm the director of investments here at Fractional. We're a platform that facilitates the co-investment. In this particular case, it's a co-investment into co-living. So like they've all said, the team launched their first opportunity last week, got oversubscribed, and so we immediately came back with the second opportunity. And I've been working really closely with the team to get them onboarded onto Fractional and get these projects up and running. Kaipo did a really good job of explaining what Fractional does and that kind of how this opportunity works. And I'm here to answer any questions. I'll share my screen for 1 second, just show people how to navigate the platform. So let me just grab the link here, throw it in the chat one more time, and I'll share my screen.
Yeah, Kyle, while you're doing that, I wanted to mention to everyone, these first couple of deals, we are making it quite attractive, like abnormally attractive in the beginning because we wanted to hit the ground running on Fractional, like really rewarding the first partners on these deals. But they will start, tailoring back, we'll be trimming back the cash flow just per deal, just a little bit over time. So I did want to mention that, and then potentially this will not be for a bit, but eventually that 5K minimum is going to be jumping to 10. So just some side notes.
Yeah. We also think we will, Kyle, I'll let you get into it. Then I do want to talk a little bit more about our timeline on things so that people sort of understand where we're at as far as when our next investment will be ready to go.
Sounds great. Yep, I'll just take a couple minutes. So here you go. I just put the link in the chat. You'll come down and click this blue button, join project. If you've already clicked the button, it'll say complete deposit, then you just click edit deposit. You can put your amount here. It can be $5,000, it could be $10,000, $50,000. It just has to be above $5,000. So let's keep it at 5,000 there. You'll see the deal you're committing funds to. And Kaipo mentioned, it's a 3% deposit. You're not paying a fee, it's a 3% deposit. So if you're paying $10,000, it's a $300 deposit of your $10,000. The additional $9,700 is due in the sign and close stage. We'll get to that in a second. So you have the ability to link your LLC, your business account, your 401k, or your IRA. And you can do that here with the manage button and then continue to payment. I'm going to continue as an individual. And then you'll see here that my $5,000 is equal to 2% ownership of the LLC. 3% deposits listed here. You can use a credit card or an ACH transfer with a bank account. Fill in this and then just make sure to click this button here. And then you click the pay button. So as Kaipo mentioned, we at Fractional will take care of all that boring paperwork. So once this project reaches the $250,000 goal, right now it's at 55. Once it reaches that goal, our backend team will create the LLC, will create the customized operating agreement for all those investors to become the owners and members of. And then that LLC is what joins the team's LLC in the operation, in the ownership of this PadSplit. We stay on to handle all the taxes and compliance. We'll do everybody's K1s, and just we're the neutral third party there to kind of manage all the members and to make sure it all runs smoothly. So that's pretty much it for me on my end, and I'll kick it back to you for some good Q&As.
Love it. All right. I think the best way is I'm just going to kind of go back up in the chat and let's see, go through the questions. I did try to answer a lot of the questions as they came up that I could. So if I've answered your question by typing and I didn't answer it fully enough, if you wouldn't mind just letting me know in the chat, okay? Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. Somebody asked, what is the difference between the education in the with a $5,000 investment versus the 20,000 that gets you in the mastermind? So, essentially, with the $5,000 investment, you are a partner, as you know, just like Kyle discussed. And so you will have access to some of the, the basic information as you would in an owner sense, but you will not have access to the additional opportunities. For example, when we're looking at additional properties, if you're in the mastermind, we're going to say, hey guys, we're having a mastermind meeting. We're going to rip through a couple of deals. We want to walk you through it. You'll have opportunities for one-on-one. So for example, Dustin's like a master wholesaler. He's got, as you guys know, a master's in finance. Kaipo's got this amazing operational side. He's also a capital raiser like I am. So you might say, gosh, I really want to learn more about what Dustin does. You can get some one-on-one time with him. So it's just at a higher level. It's really designed for people that aren't just looking to kind of dip their toe in the water and do a little investment. They really want to get to that next level of investing. Dustin, do you want to talk about, we do know that 20,000 is not attainable for everybody. Um, and so we are going to also offer a workshop that's more kind of tactical based. Do you want to share that a little bit so people can kind of understand? There'll be three opportunities. One is going to be, just your good old fashioned $5,000 investment. It gets you in the door. You're a partner on the LLC. You have access to the regular meetings we'll have as partners and all of the information based on this particular investment. Then you've got the mastermind, like I talked about, kind of levels you up, more opportunity for engagement. And then, Dustin, you want to share the workshop a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. So part of the strategy um that we're gonna be like showing behind the curtain is like one of the big mistakes people make is maybe doing too much at once. So part of our strategy is like we're gonna let these two properties, absorb into um this new system. Essentially, like we have excellent property management that can assist us, but also just there's always curveballs, right? Anything you do. And so we'll space out the third deal a little bit. And that's where we have noticed a lot of questions like texts, DMs of like, and I apologize if I haven't responded to any of those, but I get it real common. Hey, I have this property. I'm thinking about buying it. I don't know what to do. Can we hop on a call and underwrite it?
About
And
about 100 a day.
yeah. And so while these two first properties through fractional stabilize, and essentially we want to cater towards that audience as well. And so it'll be either through email or on Fractional. We'll be introducing more details, but it'll be a workshop that's a lot more tactical. Like some people like the passive and get to learn, and then others are like, show me how to pull a list right now. I'm gonna find a deal, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna wholesale it. So it'll be much more like that type of training.
Yeah, more hands-on, and really help you in the moment. If you have an issue or a concern, you can, we'll be able to really dive into certain projects that people are maybe looking at. So I hope that answers that question. We will probably after, I think you mentioned this, Dustin, but after today, as soon as we fund this project, like Dustin said, we're going to pause for a minute. We have an amazing team, and we know from experience that if we want to scale well and if we want to teach you guys about how to scale well, we need to take our time because we're not just scaling our own business, but we're scaling a business in a way that we can also model it to other people. Does that sound, did I do that justice, Kaipo? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Richard had asked about pulling permits, and I just want to touch on that. I do see, Audrey, thank you for getting back on this particular one. Remember, this is already operational, but if it's a traditional where you're buying a property and you need to retrofit it, you're only going to be required to pull permits on structural changes. And then typically you've got a licensed GC involved for that work. But again, one of the things we love about this is we are picking up these pre-existing, already operational pad splits. We will, as we continue to grow, we will bring on all the different types. We'll bring on the traditional kind of burr strategy. We're also working right now behind the scenes on a new build. If you are in the mastermind, you will learn all about those as well. You'll have the opportunity to be part of all of those conversations without having to invest in them. So if you invest with us and you're in the mastermind level and we start that new build and you're like, I want to know how to do a new build, co-living, you can just be part of all those meetings and conversations and have a really good bird's eye view. Not all, I
Yeah.
should be clear, not every single conversation, but we want to open this up and have it be very inviting so that people have an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of it too was like, for example, we have other properties that are through PadSplit, not through PadSplit, that we bought sub to converted, that we bought sub to refinanced into DSCRs. They all have different pros and cons. And so we wanted these first ones to be very simple. Well, the first one's on fractional to be very simple and just easy. Hey, it's cash flowing day one. Um, so yeah, we'll get into other things as well. Um, but the one other thing that we didn't mention is the existing investors that we already have connections with, that we already know we work well with, they will be getting first dibs on a lot of the deal flow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, this is a long-term investment that we get to hang out together. And so we are really excited. We really want to create a community so that when and if you decide I want to go do this on my own, you have all of us to lean on, right? You've been in a partnership. Our last week, do we have, I want to say we have 24 partners on that.
mhm.
And so you now are a partner with 23 other people, right? And you get to lean on each other and learn from each other and grow with each other. And again, that's just creating that community. Dustin, do you want to touch a little bit? Somebody had a question about ROI. Do you want to touch on that? It says with the example you sent, you're saying $5,000 investment lends a 5% ROI a year. I bet other people want a little bit more clarity. Do you mind just going over that one more time?
Yeah, yeah. So these projections are based on historic data, uh, taking in inflation, rent growth, like all that fun stuff, debt pay down. Essentially the ROI, let's see, I don't know if you want me to screen share, but everyone can tap that link. So that ROI on there, we have 11.8. And so, for example, for $5,000, which you're not limited to, like you can go above that, of course.
That's
Um,
right.
the cash flow, and of course, anything can happen. These are projections, but they're historic data is how we came up with these. But $5,000 will yield $244 in cash flow annual. And then the sum of that with the debt pay down, the market appreciation, tax benefits, everything combined overall is how we're getting that 11.8% ROI.
I
Let's
hope
see, I
that,
saw one,
yeah,
or
go for it.
I saw someone ask about if they can use their self-directed. And They definitely can. I don't know all the details, but I do know you can.
Yeah, guys, it's just this is regular real estate, so it's just the way you would purchase, um any kind of real estate with your self-directed IRA. And I think Kyle, you guys can
Yeah,
not you don't
so
size, but you can.
yeah, we have relationships with most of the IRA companies right now. So the only thing you do have to do is when you're in that deposit stage, click that you're investing via your STIRA. Um, Instead of going to a custodian twice, you'll just pay that 3% deposit with your personal information. And then once we have the custodian release your funds, you'll get a refund of that 3%. So we're not commingling funds.
Mhm.
Correct. I The other thing we didn't highlight on a lot as well is on the previous call you mentioned this, but the reason we're doing the mastermind in Hawaii, like of all places other than Hawaii's great, is we want to enter that market. Audrey, she does work for PadSplit, so she's kind of like our inside guy of just like how we can appropriately do that. It is very expensive out there. But one common denominator between Tracy, Kaipo, and I is we've all lived in Hawaii. We all have a lot of connections out there. And so that essentially that's why the mastermind is located there is it's think of it as a field trip essentially. When we do this, it's going to be a very active like, hey, where are the hotels lobbying the most? Where is a higher probability? Which university on Oahu? So it's going to be very focused. And so that's why we're doing it there. And that's why, if you notice the video last week, it was a 10,000 and above the invite. We do want to keep the group small, intimate, and you'll see Kaipo, he bumped it. So it is 20. And I do know that is another one of those metrics that'll continue to raise each deal along the way.
All right, I'm going to bust through some of these questions. Let's see. I think I got that. I think we talked about managing the property. We've got managers in place already. Okay, let's see. Will you, as a GP, taking an acquisition fee, will you have money in it? Are the investor LPs? When will it be funded? Um, we can kind of break that down. So Richard, we are not necessarily taking an acquisition fee, but Kaipo, myself, and Dustin are on the operational side of things. And as you can see, we have such little amount of equity in the deal that obviously we need to make money somehow, or we wouldn't be able to live. So you will see if you look at the breakdown. I don't want to have to share the screen again because you can go to fractional, but if you look at the breakdown of expenses, our budget is sort of worked out there in some of the project management, administration, and operational management fees. So the three of us are paid essentially to run the project to make sure that it's doing what it needs to do, right? Um, we don't have any of our own money in this, no. Just our blood, sweat, and tears. And when will it be funded? Well, hopefully it'll be funded tonight, like last week we funded that night. But if it's not funded tonight, I'm sure it'll be funded in the next couple of days.
Yeah, and Richard, it is this. I have the exact screenshot from Pace, this cheat code. There is some orbiting that we're entertaining.
Mhm.
We won't mention it on this call. But yeah, this is it's the pacing cheat code, and we're just hyper focusing on it.
Richard, are we looking in the returns on future investments if we get in on these earlier? So every deal is going to be obviously deal specific, and because we're partners, we don't feel that it would be fair to say to somebody, hey, Richard invested with us, way back in the beginning, so he always gets a preferred return. I feel like that would kind of turn people off. It's just going to be each investment by itself, and all partners are going to share the returns based on their investment.
Yep. And then I don't know how to say her name. I'm gonna Ljubljana. The 244, the equivalent of if you put 5,000 in the projected cash flow for your, so that's not divided, that's just your projection on that equivalent. Okay.
Okay, let's see.
I know I missed some
I
questions.
know I'm
Let's
kind
move
of
in quick.
last week we used our form. I realized that is better because then I make sure I don't miss any. What if I'd like to invest from more than one entity? Lauren, I think that's possible. That's going to be a Kyle question, but I'm sure they can figure that out.
Um, email me. I'll put my email in the chat. It's I think we have a limit, like your investment has to be above a certain amount to offer that. So we would just need to have a conversation on fractional. So I'm going to put my email here in the chat,
Perfect.
and anybody
Richard
can reach
asked,
out to me.
oh, sorry, Kyle. Kyle knows he's so great. Kyle, Richard, what is the underlying debt? So there is no current debt on the property. We are taking out a long-term debt in the form of a debt service coverage ratio, DSCR loan. So today, as when Dustin went through the presentation, as he explained, what we're raising capital for today is for the down payment, the closing costs, the operational fees, reserves, all the things that he went through. Again, that's all available on our fractional page. And so then the debt will be held by the entity itself. So nothing currently underlying. The Petra, the funds will be, oh, there we go. Thanks, Kyle, got that. Yep, we talked about self-directed IRA. I love that. Yes, we'll be using PadSplit. We love them. As you guys know, Audrey works for them. It's pretty fantastic to have Audrey on the team. She knows the ins and the outs of PadSplit, and she's really just beyond an amazing support for us and our team. We're very fortunate to have her. Thanks, Adrian. I appreciate the feedback. Maya, is the 2% ownership tied to a certain amount investment? Can there be more percent ownership? What are the requirements? Okay, yep, Kyle kind of answered that. So Monique asked, is the plan to keep the property for 10 years and exit? We actually have I believe on this one, it's the same thing. We're going to look at it at 5 years. Is that what we decided, guys?
Yes, essentially we're putting like 5 to 8. I showed 10 on there just so it wasn't just stopped at 5. But essentially once we have enough LTV, like the DSC, so that's one thing we're gonna like help everyone learn.
Yeah, we
The
want to help.
DSCRs on pad splits are very unique. There's only a handful that will even do it. Um, but they are becoming more streamlined, more common. Essentially the answer is when we have an LTV that they'll let us refi, that's when the investor's principal will come back out. So that's why we're saying like 5 to 8 is that estimate. But the official answer is when they let us refi and it makes sense, we're going to go for it.
Just want to chime in on that too. So
Please do, Kaipo.
even once the principal, all of the investors going to get the principal back, and you're going to stay in the deal, right? You're going to continue getting the benefits, cash flow, and all of that stuff for the perpetuity of the investment, right?
And Kaipo, do you want to talk for a second about, because we are partners, the three of us can't just go and say, oh, we're going to refi this today, or oh, sorry, guys, we decided we're not going to refi this at all. Can you speak a little bit to how that works? Because we are truly partners on this
I
project.
mean, so yeah, in on this deal, right? We're truly partners, right? Everyone's on the LLC, like we all get, equity stake in this deal. So before we do make any type of decisions, we're going to reach out to all of the investors, everybody on the deal, and we're going to discuss it. Like everybody going to have one say, everybody going to have one vote, right? And we going, make our decision based on the group and the team, not just, Tracy, Dustin, and I, right? Like we're not just going decide to make decisions without the rest of them, the investors, input on each deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I wanted to, Richard, he's got some good questions and comments. I wanted to mention to him, we are going to be real. We're not going to do a ton of Orbit members, but I do know the people that are investing with us, like they are going to get first dibs on some Orbit slots. And for everyone that doesn't know what we're talking about on Orbit, essentially it's like we have a couple other things that we're going to be doing that we are going to need help with. And so in sub two, Pace is teaching all these different cheat codes. And Orbit is essentially like a short internship that evolves into something more. And so I want to make sure I answered them above.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so Jeff, where are you getting current pad splits from? Audrey, thank you. So Audrey said there is a marketplace. If you are a pad split host, sign up. But we also have, uh, for example, Audrey has relationships with other PadSplit reps, right, throughout the country, and they know investors that have properties for sale. And so that's how we came up with the last investment was a relationship that Audrey cultivated, reached out to some people in her community, and the next thing we know, we were looking at a couple of different opportunities that we would not have found probably, or not probably, we would not have found without her in those relationships. One of the things that we will dive into again in the mastermind is talking a lot about deal flow and acquisition. I know we are all in the same boat. How many emails do you get every day? Look at the deal. Look at this deal. There's a deal of the century. And it's not a deal at all, nor is it a deal even anywhere in my buy box, yet it's still flooding my inbox. I don't get any, I delete all those. I don't get any more deal flow from people. We create very strong relationships with wholesalers. And as a result, we have some amazing deal flow that comes our way. Some is on market, some is off market, but it's always pretty outstanding. So we want to talk with you and share with you how we build those relationships, and also start to share some of that with you as well, because we can't buy everything, and our goal is not to buy everything. Our goal is to help empower you guys to also be able to go out and buy properties yourself. Okay. Da-da. Okay, great. Thank you, Richard. Love that. Okay, yes, and also clarity on what the cash on cash is. I'm not sure. Ari, it just said yes, and then also clarity, so I'm not sure if we missed something. Um, let's see. So would you like us, I'm not sure if you want us to go over the cash on cash again. I didn't think we had the cash on here. I tend not to use the COC that much.
Yeah, on that example, it'd be the 244 divided by 5,000 if you
Yeah.
really want that.
Yeah.
Um, or if Ari wants it, I could throw it in the calculator, but it's in that example, it's yeah, 244 divided by that.
Wait, okay, let's see. I think we're getting close to, oh, sorry. Wow. Okay, I'm going too slow. Now I see there's 27 more messages. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna pick up the pace. I promise.
Yeah, okay.
I really appreciate you guys. I recognize we are almost at the hour. If we don't get to everybody's question, we can give you our email and we can definitely follow up. Are all properties that you're buying going to be pad split, or would you do Airbnb? Absolutely not. Absolutely, Richard. Not Airbnb. No way, no how. We are the opposite of Airbnb. Don't get me started. I live in Hawaii. I was from Lake Tahoe. We are communities that are ravaged with Airbnbs. Yes, there needs to be a balance because if we don't have tourists, we don't have jobs. If we don't have jobs, we don't have income. However, there are thousands and thousands of condos and apartments and homes that sit vacant every day, while we have hundreds of thousands of people living on the streets in areas like Hawaii, Tahoe, all the Florida, all over. Richard, I love your questions. I see that you have a lot. I want to make sure I get to everybody. So if I miss some, I promise you we can follow up, okay? Um, we talked about LLCs, love it. I love seeing my Hawaii people. If we make it into the mastermind, is that forever? To invest with the team, is that for forever, or do you have to invest with the team each year? No, it'll just be for that one time and you'll be with us. Yep. Ride or die, baby. Ba-bum. Someone asked a great question. Can you divide a 20,000 mastermind over multiple investments? I don't know. We have to get back to you on that. That is a great question. I love your creativity, but we haven't thought about that yet. Okay, do we as investors get our investment back? I assume in 5 years. Great question, Patrick. Yes. Upon the refi, the idea would be we would all get back our principal investment and we would continue to earn on the cash flow percentage as well as the equity. And guys, if you guys like Kaipo, if you want to hop in and if you want to look at questions from the bottom up and we could tag team, that's cool too. I'm kind of just going from the top down.
You're doing great.
Oh, Christine, yeah, sorry, paid out quarterly. Correct. Cash flow returns will be paid out quarterly. Sorry about that. So it's a 3% down. The balance would be due in a few days when the funding. Yep. Okay, great. Kyle answered that. Thank you. Richard, I need you on here to be my moderator. You're a good question asker. I love it. As a teacher, I love it. Praveen, no big deal. Love that you're here. Thank you. Hoping to go over the breakdown of how much to invest, how it is secured. Also, is there proof of concept? Praveen, how about we hang on till the end? And if you have a few minutes, we can stay on with you and kind of go over some of those again because you are right, we did talk about all those pretty in depth. And there's going to be a recording of this, probably available in the next couple days. I missed the introduction. Hi, Ronnie. Is the property filled now? Yes. So, Ronnie, the numbers you see on fractional, our actual numbers are based off of the T12. Christine, thank you. You're the best. Yep. Okay, good. Audrey answered that. Deanna, I think we answered the voting process for you. If not, would you ask more specifically pardon me, if you don't mind in the chat? Haha, the new build ground up. Alex, we are working so hard on this, my friend, so hard. And I can't, I wish I could tell you when it will be. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle because it's just a very unique model. So, but we promise we'll let you know. We're excited, but I can't tell you when we're gonna be able to launch that. Oh, thanks, Deanna. I really appreciate that. Ari, I think we answered hopefully your cash on cash. Deanna, thank you. The same in my resort. Yeah, I know, Gary. All these resort communities, it's across, I don't know, maybe it's like 5 minutes from me is one of the largest homeless camps in the country in Hawaii. It's divided up into 5 sectors. There are 3 to 4 people in each sector that monitor the sector. There's sectors for single women, for women or women with children, men with children, single men. I mean, it's outrageous. Exit strategy. What is the exit strategy if the city passes zoning laws preventing co-living? Will the property be converted back to single family or something else? That's a great question. Michelle,
Yeah,
one
part
of
of the
no, go for it.
no. Yeah, I was just gonna say part of the reason we chose this one too is essentially like Georgia's kind of like the capital of PadSplit, from what I understand at the moment. Uh, Maybe not the capital, but it's definitely in their top 5 areas. So that's why we felt comfortable entering. It is always a risk. The other part too, though, is we picked one that is stabilized like multiple years. So
Yeah.
it's like other properties we own, if there are issues, it's usually pretty early that it's like this new property entered the neighborhood, neighbors report them for whatever reasons, illegal Airbnb. But ultimately, conversion is typically the exit, like as a worst case, like converting LTR.
Yeah, I definitely I love I'm so glad you asked this question. It's really huge. And one of our missions is to really start to make a shift and a change. Um, in co-living in the United States, right? We need to tackle this from a larger perspective because right now, whether you get involved in this deal or your own deal or any co-living, there is always that risk that zoning laws could change for the worst or a neighbor could complain, right? And so you do always have to have that backup strategy, which is, turn it back into a single family home, which is never ideal. So one of the things that we do when we look at properties is we also investigate what are the current zoning laws and what have the issues been, right? Again, Audrey having an extensive background with PadSplit, she understands and she knows what is going on in each region. For example, Dallas has cracked down dramatically. Now, we've seen some great deals come across our desk in Dallas. I would not go to Dallas right now because I know many people that have the laws have changed and people are getting cracked down on and it's become a challenge. So again, we're going to talk to you and help you understand the importance of market analysis, but also really wanting to work with local planning and starting to change those rules. That's part of why our new build is taking us some time because that's the other piece of that. We want to jump into that from the ground up and really do a stellar job of working with and building relationships with the community and the county and the city. I think we all know it's all about relationships. It's all about, it takes time sometimes and patience to build those relationships. But that's a great question. I love that. Eric says, is each property making a different spread? Oh, great question. Yes, a little different. You can look at the project from last week and you can compare the numbers. Yeah. And so if someone invests 10K, so Eric, if you go back on the deal chart and you look at the color where it starts with the purple, that's the investment per 5,000. So you can just double those numbers and that should get you to what you need. Oh, Patrick had to hop off, but he's invested. I love that. Oh, I can't wait to work with Patrick. Okay. Not sure I completely understand all the benefits of the mastermind. Okay. However, is the minimum to get into the mastermind? Yeah. So Jennifer, the minimum is 20,000. And guys, the mastermind, I'll tell you, we're crazy. We're not. We're just excited to share and educate people. We realized that when Dustin and I taught those co-living semesters, what a great need there is for hands-on education and for more support. So I will tell you, it's going to be evolving. It truly is just a bonus. So please think of it as a bonus. It's not like you're investing, we're not saying invest in the mastermind and get a property. We're saying invest in a property with us, be a partner with us, learn together in this property. And as a bonus, we're going to build out a mastermind. As an educator, one of my goals is to work with our partners to find out what does each person on the deal need? What are you looking for? And how can we serve your particular needs? So I'm not saying it's going to be structured just to your needs, but we're definitely wanting to take into account everybody's needs and find a way to support everybody on a much higher level. So it is evolving. And so I hope you will bear with us as we grow it. And I think our first two investments with you guys are really going to be you helping us, right? You're going to help us really create a truly amazing opportunity for everybody as well moving forward. So you're part of this with us, and we really appreciate that. So I hope I probably didn't answer your question. Where's Jennifer?
Let's
I wish I
see.
could see you.
Were we able to? We see Colleen asking for the sign up form.
You get that okay, Colleen? Okay, awesome. Oh, yay. I'm so excited I get to work with you.
And then Doreen's trying to pledge an investment. Maybe she's having some.
Right, Gary, it is. It's all about relationships. Ari, thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate that. Um, oh, Jennifer, I love that. Are you invested with us, Jennifer? Because we can be teaching partners. Okay, I think that we've got everybody's questions, but Praveen, right? I think you still have some questions. So before I dive into Praveen's questions, I want to make sure I've got everybody else. Eric, I'm so excited. I love that. Yeah. So for those of you that invested today, and if you invested last week and you're on here as well, we really appreciate everybody's patience. Last week was really overwhelming to us that we had such an overage of investment, and it really took us time to determine, what is our next step and how do we take that next step and be supportive of our current newest investors as well as the people that wanted to get in but missed out, and yet still um, making sure that we are doing it right. Um, so with that being said, we will reach out to you um, before the end of the week. And then our plan is once we get back from Squad Up Summit, which I think if you're in the sub two community, you know that that happens Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The three of us are traveling Thursday through, and I think Audrey is also traveling Thursday through or Friday through next Monday or Tuesday. So when we return, you will start hearing more and more from us, kind of just rough timing, and I apologies, but you will start hearing more and more from us. And we will get a meeting on the books, a partnership meeting on the books. I would say within the first, probably that second, third week of April tops, okay? Before we close. Let me just say that before we close. We is that fair, Kaipo? Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I mean, something we didn't mention, so we will be doing, just in the fractional page, we will be doing office hours, which we're gonna be jumping on. We're not sure, it's most likely gonna be bi-weekly, but we're gonna be jumping on Zooms like this and answering, you know, whatever questions anyone has, right? To with regards to co-living, any of the investment opportunities, or just questions, or just to hang out, right? We're gonna be in there helping everyone out. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
Definitely.
yeah.
But
And
is it all right?
yeah.
I was just gonna say, Doreen, she's saying she can't pledge as an LLC.
Oh, my understand, Kyle, you can speak to that because I think it's when you put the down payment, you can't. Is that right?
Yeah, I can share my screen real quick. It'll take like
Yeah, thank
15
you.
seconds. Yep. 1 second. Okay, so are we doing it? We're doing it. Okay. So in this first page at a deposit right here, you'll come in and manage. You'll click manage down here for the LLCs. Navigate to the business entity. Enter in all this information, but you're correct. You won't be able to pay via your business account right now unless you go up to here and you go into your settings and you add in an external payment method. Sometimes we have people just committing the funds from their personal account for simplicity's sake, and then we can take care of it on the back end just so you're able to secure your position in the deal.
Dawn, I love you. I love it.
She
I mean,
said she said asking for a social security number, not an EIN.
Yeah, okay. So we still need to confirm your personal identity because you are the investor that owns your LLC. So we do electronic sign and closes. We do a lot of voting. We just need to know who's in the LLC. So even though you're investing as a business, you still need to confirm your personal identity.
and Kyle, is it fair to say that if somebody puts a deposit down today using a personal credit card or personal account, once it's time for the full investment, you guys can help them fix that up
Yep,
and okay.
yep, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, Doreen, I'm so sorry that you're having trouble. Darn it.
Yeah, Doreen, my suggestion would be commit as the individual, and then once you're into the deal, we can help you on the back end with our closing team.
Yeah, does that help? Does that work, Doreen? All right. Let me go back and see.
I think there's Praveen and then another name asking some
Yeah.
questions.
So Praveen, and then if there's any other questions, can you type them in? Let us know what's left question wise. Otherwise, guys, I don't want to hold people up. We've been on here an hour and 15 minutes, and we are so grateful for your time. We know how busy you guys all are. It's late at night, especially if you're on the East Coast. It's really late. So, feel free to hop off if you don't have any other questions. This will be up on our fractional page if it even I'm sure we'll fully fund by the end of the evening. It'll still be up there. And what happens is when it's fully funded, you can still, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, you can still fund. And then what will happen is you will be sort of next in line for our next investment, right? And then you'll have the opportunity to look at that next investment and make a decision from there.
Yeah, and even if something happens to one of the committed investors, we would still have you on a wait list. So you would be first into this current deal. And like Tracy said, you would still be first in line for the next one.
So excited, Colleen. Wonderful. All right, so let's see. What other questions? I don't see Praveen. Do you still have questions, my dear? Bye, Dawn. Okay, what happens if some of the investors decided to get out? Great question.
The deposit is technically non-refundable. So when you commit to a project, you are saying, hey, I want to invest into this opportunity. The deposit is refundable should the opportunity not move forward. So let's say the team discovers something about this deal that they don't like. Deal's not moving forward. Everybody commits. Everybody who's committed gets their investment back, that 3% they paid.
And I'm not sure if you're asking about that or if you're saying, what if you get involved in the investment in it in year one, you say, I need out,
Mm.
which may be what you're saying. Do
So
you yeah, Kyle, do you want to talk to that? Because you guys draft up our
yeah,
operating.
absolutely. So each LLC is going to have a customized operating agreement. And when I say customized, I really mean it. You get to vote on certain things in the operating agreement. You even get to vote on how you vote as an LLC. And talking about selling shares or legal issues or dissolving the LLC, all of this comes up in the operating agreement and in the operating agreement recording that you'll watch and then cast your votes on. So it's all part of the sign and close stage.
Yep, perfect. That was his question. Thank you. And usually what happens in my experience from other partnerships that I've been in Praveen is, there's a right of first refusal typically that allows the other partners to buy you out. And, I've never really seen it be a big problem at all. And especially, remember in this case, we've got like 24, 25 of us. So, did I answer that? Any other questions?
Yeah, I think Praveen was asking earlier, like some specific numbers, but I don't know if
Oh, maybe
she's.
so. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to? Since there are many partners, how do you resolve disputes? Oh, yeah, good question. Well,
Yeah, that's what we're here for. So we stay on as the neutral third party. So disputes, disagreements, that all comes down to a vote. And you, as the LLC members, you get to vote on how you vote. So you'll either be voting per capita or per rata.
mhm.
So either or so like by how many investors are in the deal, or by the amount of money each investor invests into the deal. And that'll all kind of be outlined in the operating agreement call.
Been asked earlier, but are you investing yourselves in the deal? Oh, great question. What we have invested in the deal is blood, sweat, and tears. So no, we don't have any of our own capital in the deal, in the project. Our investment is our time and our expertise in the project.
Let's see. Gozi Christian minimum to invest is 5,000, and then the people that are doing 20 and above, those are the ones that get the private invite to the Hawaii Mastermind.
Great. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Deanna. Oh, so excited, Deanna. Thank you. We're gonna have a great time. We're so excited for this opportunity, guys. It truly is it means a lot to us to have so many people invested with us and partnering with us. It's really great. So thank you.
Yeah, and especially the people that we're partnering with, let's definitely connect. If you're going to squad up
Squad up. Yep.
um, like breakfast, before it gets crazy. We would love to do some just really connect in the hallways and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay, but
for
what were you
sure.
gonna say?
No, squad up. I mean, anyone who's going to squad up, come hit us up for sure. Let's connect.
Yeah, we will have on day three, if you're at Squad Up, at day three, we will have there'll be roundtables for different topics, and we'll be hosting the co-living roundtable. So that'll be a really cool opportunity also to do some one-on-one connecting and get to meet us in person if we haven't met you in person yet. Guys, we're up to 200 of the 250, so I'm super excited. We're just short 50,000, which I think we should be able to get that funded pretty darn quickly. You remember, you do not have to be part of any community. You can have friends, family. We need to get to the 250, obviously, to move forward. So I encourage you, if you have, family members or friends that, have an extra 5,000, they don't have to be part of the education. They don't have to be part of really anything. They can kind of be a backseat, driver. They can, not a backseat driver. That's not what I meant. No backseat drivers. They can be a sort of a passenger, right? They can invest 5,000, 10,000, whatever, and just receive their quarterly distributions and equity and not worry about learning or any of that. So keep that in mind. If you have somebody in the back of your mind that's maybe been wanting to get involved in real estate, I don't know any other investments where you can throw 5 grand down and really, you know, get a decent return or get in real estate for so cheap.
I'm not sure if I understand Edith.
Yeah, sorry, Edith. Passenger princess. I love that. So, Edith, invite. Oh, there we go. Oh, right. Could you type it? Is that possible? I just wasn't
That's
sure.
yeah, so the 20,000 is the 20,000 minimum investment. Those are the ones getting the invite to the actual mastermind, the Hawaii Mastermind.
I hope that answered your question. Okay. How we doing? All right. There's still a lot of 73 folks on, so I'm not sure if that means that we have questions still.
Oh, okay, there she is. Yeah, so the Edith, the mastermind we won't be selling like outside tickets to it. Essentially,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like
So
everyone
you,
that,
so
yeah,
does the
everyone that invested.
20,000 include the mastermind and you don't have to pay an additional, or the 20,000 is just an invitation to buy the mastermind?
Oh, gotcha. Nope, it's just part of it. It's just a bonus. So essentially, if you invest 20,000 or more with us, it's just a bonus. You get to be part of the mastermind, and it's only for our investors.
Got it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Um, Also, when
Yeah,
we do workshops, like we talked about, we'll let you guys know when we're doing those. And if you're at that mastermind level, you can come to all of those workshops for free. We're not, you obviously pay for your travel, your expense, but you'll be welcome to those all the time as well. And those
yeah,
will probably run 5 grand or so.
yeah. And Edith, I don't know if you heard this earlier or not, but the part of the reason we're picking Hawaii is we do want to enter the Hawaii co-living market. And we do have a lot of connections there already. So that's why it's out of all places, that's why it's there.
Yeah, I mean, my motto is if you can make it in Hawaii, you can make it anywhere. And I have two very successful properties in Hawaii. And we all are. I mean, we're just so passionate about, you know, um, supporting people in these communities where it's impossible to live there. It is impossible. So, yeah, we figure it's just why not? Who doesn't want to go there? We're all passionate. We all, have deep, deep connections there and lots of opportunity to dive into different properties, different areas, talk about different market analysis there. All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I mean at this
Really quick, I just want Doreen says, will we have the opportunity to invest in Hawaii projects? So yes, because you're an investor with us now, we're partnered together. Any future investments, we will roll those out to current partners first so that you guys have an opportunity to take a look at them, see if it's something you're interested in before bringing on new partners.
Yeah, and kind of like what we said a bit ago. As at this point, we're only 20K away, so it's basically any minute. Um, we will take a slight breather after this property
Oh yeah.
to let the assets stabilize, like just everything go through smooth. Um, I know the terms, like we mentioned a bit ago, though they will be adjusting per deal. We wanted these first two deals to be just no question, no brainer. 70% of the cash flow done to the partners. Um, I know people who I've learned underwriting from, that's not common.
No.
So yeah, we wanted these first couple to just be very favorable.
Yeah.
Kaipo made me do it.
Oh, I love it. Well, I mean, we are happy to hang on. We're only what, 20,000 away. So let's
Yeah.
just do this. Come on, guys. 20 grand.
What do you think, Tracy, for this last 20? If some whoever
Oh,
fills it,
I
we
don't know.
do
So
like a
unfair.
private breakfast at Squad Up,
I don't know.
like
I
just
feel
something unique.
unfair. I
We'll
mean,
have
are we going to pay someone for being a slacker? I don't know, man. You guys know me. I'm like all about it's gotta be fair.
that teacher side, huh?
It's that teacher side. It's not fair. Um, I don't know. What other questions can we answer? Guys, so I mean, we are hanging out, and if you have just a general question right now, maybe it's not even on this deal, maybe you got a
Yeah.
question about some
Let's
general
turn
co-living.
it into some office hours.
Let's go. Take advantage.
Yeah.
Right on, Veronica. I love it. Thank you. Luke, Dustin's pretty cool too.
I paid him
Luke
to say
is,
that.
And guys, something we didn't mention too much about, but if you're on here and you're like, gosh, I don't have the funds, I wish I did. We're open to working with people that can bring other investors to the table at about the
Right.
$50,000 mark. So, for 2 years, I focused heavily in private money lending. That's all that I did. But I'm not, a bazillionaire. So I only have so much money that I can invest in lending myself. So what I learned how to do was I learned how to go out, make connections, and then bring people together. And that's what you can essentially do is you can go start building relationships or utilizing the relationships you already have, get to know what these people are looking for. And if you find or know people interested in co-living, and you can introduce them to us and to this opportunity, and they can invest in upwards of, say, 50,000, then you can wedge yourself into this deal. Well, you will earn a piece of equity. You'll get a unit of equity or so. It will depend on what you bring and so forth. But you'll actually get yourself some equity and some cash flow. And so there are ways that you can work with us. So if you feel like, gosh, I really want to do this, I just don't have the funds, but you're a hustler, reach out to us. Reach out to Kaipo. He'd be a great, he deals with our investment side of things. Connect with Kaipo and he can help you and walk you through what that can look like. Because again, we're just not about this, we're about supporting the community. So if that's a way we can support you getting involved in this, let's go. I was talking through it. We did it, guys. I love it. Guys, we just bought some property together.
Yep. I think Kyle's going to bed.
Kyle's like, I'm done with you guys. No more.
East Coast is tough.
Yeah.
yeah.
You, Irving, I do. I have Ganush on my hand. Gary was wondering for your email. So I'll go ahead and give Will, do you mind typing in our email?
Yeah.
I know it, but I'll probably get it wrong. And then Jerry, you can reach out to Kaipo there. You could just put in the subject, for Kaipo. Guys, this is amazing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for those of you that couldn't invest but congratulated us. We really appreciate that as well. Um, Again, those of you that invested today, we will reach out. We will get an email out to you before we leave for Squad Up Summit, and then expect to hear from us when we get back. And we'll have that partnership meeting. We have to walk through our operating agreement together and get ourselves all dialed in. In the meantime, if you have questions, Kaipo's personal emails in there. We also have our co-living email for just the three of us that monitor that, and Will. And so Will works with us on the back end. He's the guy that sends out the emails for us. And well, that sounds ridiculous because he does. I don't even know all the
A funnel master.
that Will does for us, but it is amazing. So we're so grateful for our team, which you'll get to meet our whole team. You'll get to meet our TC, our operator, all the people. Okay, well, with that said, I think we'll end it for the evening. Again, if you weren't able to get into this particular one, but you want to get on the wait list for the next one, you can still invest in this project, and then you'll be on the wait list for the next one, which will probably be, I'd say at least 30 days at this point, I think. Thank you, Ty. I really appreciate you. All right. Kyle, thank you for your time. We're so grateful for
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks,
you all.
everyone.
Great to see everybody. Irving, great to see you. Calvert, great to see you. Jill, thank you for hanging in there, everybody. We really appreciate your time this evening.
Awesome. Come see us at Squad Up, everyone.
Yeah, come find us at
Come
Squad
see
Up.
us. Come find us. Good night.
Night night.